Our story took place 10 years ago in the sunny and pleasant town of Sulphur, Oklahoma. It is the story of a little girl named Lara Harper who managed to overcome all adversity and give us all a powerful lesson about two of the most important things in anyone's life: love and family. However, this story has another protagonist, an adult without whose intervention all the rest could never have happened, and whose generosity caused a ripple effect that would flood the hearts of thousands of people across the country with affection. Mrs. Victoria Harper. The story of little Lara Harper and her little family is truly inspiring, and I'm sure you will be deeply moved as you watch it. The great adventure of Lara and her siblings began when she came into the world as a baby, born to a mother with alcohol problems and an unaccounted-for father whom no one missed. All three children were black, which made the task of finding a family for them even more complicated because of the racism that still exists in a large part of American society. This terrible fate brought her quickly into the custody of the state, spending the first years of her childhood going from one foster home to another. It was not easy. It never is. But Lara never complained, nor did she lose her optimism. Someday, she would find a family to care for them and love them forever. At least that's what she always told herself every night before going to sleep, and what she told her two little brothers every time they asked her how much longer they would be traveling from one city to another with their things stuffed in an old suitcase. Soon, little brother, life has something very good in store for us, I'm sure. We deserve it, Daniel. There will be someone out there looking for us as much as we are looking for him. Don't lose faith, she said to her middle brother, Daniel, who, like her, was becoming more and more anxious to stop traveling and have a place to call home. So it was that Lara and her siblings, Daniel and Joshua, spent the first years of their life within the Oklahoma State foster care system, going from house to house and watching as friends with whom they had developed close bonds were adopted, and they were left alone once again. These experiences left them struggling with increasingly intense feelings of unworthiness and abandonment. For her two little brothers, 3 and 2 years old respectively, Lara was a bright light that took away the darkness of a life full of difficulties. Every day she dressed them, bathed them, and filled them with cuddles to make them feel loved. However, she was well aware that she could not continue to be a mother indefinitely, and that both she and her siblings needed a real mother, an adult mother figure to help them move forward and develop as individuals. Will we ever find a family? Will someone want to be our mother? The girl asked herself one cold winter night before going to sleep. The answer to this question would come a year later, when at the age of 7 and tired of moving from one place to another, Lara and her siblings were adopted by an exceptional woman who would change their lives forever, Victoria Harper, the one who would be their mother forever. Lara and her siblings went through a period of transition and adjustment when they arrived at Victoria's home, but soon became a happy family. She was a lovely 42-year-old single woman with a great career as a lawyer behind her. She was kind, sweet, and most importantly, she wanted to take care of the 3 children and make them forget all the bad things they had experienced so far. What Victoria could never have imagined is that her generosity and willingness to help these 3 siblings would be rewarded in the sweetest way a mother could ever dream of. Because generosity is contagious, and what a mother thinks will always influence the actions of our children. And this is something that her newly adopted daughter, Lara, understood perfectly. It all started a few weeks after they began living their new life with Mrs. Harper. Lara and her siblings were used to having to carry all their things, which certainly weren't too many, from one foster home to another, including their toys. However, Lara was very surprised to discover that her younger brother, Joshua, had not brought any toys with him to the family's new home. "I forgot. We left in such a hurry that I didn't get to take my stuffed animal, Mr. Rabbit. I miss him so much, little sister." The little boy tearfully confessed to her when she asked him why he didn't have any toys. Seeing her little brother so sad prompted her to try to collect several second-hand toys for him and soothe his sadness. At 7 years old, Lara was still very young, but she had lived long enough to know how to care for a lonely child and where to find toys that no one would use anymore. From that moment on, she knew she wanted to do more to help other foster children who, like her brother, suffered in loneliness and were unable to have their own toys and other necessities. A mission that would end up bringing her and her family much happiness and would transform her life and the lives of those who knew her completely. For weeks, Lara searched for a way to put her plan into action, but no idea seemed to convince her, until one morning she was struck by inspiration. It was summer and Lara was out for a walk with her family in her neighborhood when they came across a group of teenagers selling homemade lemonade from a small stand in the middle of the street. But what caught the girls' attention was that it wasn't just any lemonade stand. The teens were raising money for a friend's quinceañera and had given their heart and soul to the cause. There it was, the idea Lara had been looking for a long time. At that moment, something clicked inside her. She knew exactly what she had to do to help others. Remember, a few weeks ago I told you about finding a way to raise money to help other kids who don't have resources. I just figured out a way to do it. I'm going to set up my own homemade lemonade stand, Lara excitedly announced to her mother. And so it was. With her mother's consent and the help of some family friends, Lara managed to set up her own lemonade stand, whose sign read, "Lara's Solidarity Lemonade." She had spent countless hours preparing for that moment, making sure everything was perfect. But as soon as her first customer arrived, she knew she had nothing to worry about, and with a big smile, Lara greeted each person who approached, eagerly pouring delicious glasses of ice-cold lemonade. Her lemonade stand became a sensation in the neighborhood, and as soon as the coins began to accumulate in her pitcher, her nervousness turned to pure joy. By the end of the first day, she had already raised an impressive $132, an amazing feat for such a little girl who had never done anything similar before. Lara was beaming with happiness, but she never lost sight of her main goal, to use her earnings to make a difference and help all the needy children in the community. As her profits increased, Lara knew she had to create something to help the other children. She gave it a lot of thought and got everyone's help. And so it was that, finally, Lara Harper came up with what she would call love packages for foster children. These love packs consisted of small backpacks, costing about $10 each, which inside included a warm blanket for the winter, a teddy bear, a fairy tale, as well as a toothbrush and toothpaste. In a matter of days, the Solidarity backpacks that Lara had created became a mass success. In less than 3 days, all the backpacks they had were sold out, with hundreds having to be quickly replenished due to the high demand and the rapid rise in popularity. Lara's lemonade stand managed to cross borders, and in a matter of weeks she made national news, having her inspiring story of overcoming and solidarity viewed over 1.3 million times on YouTube, and growing. But that was not all. After her online success, Lara and her siblings' fundraising efforts did not stop, and with the help of the GoFundMe page, they created a campaign that raised more than $6,000 in donations, a feat that left her and her family overwhelmed with gratitude, and with which they were able to continue helping those who needed it most. Lara had never felt so happy, and with every word of love she received, her heart grew bigger and bigger. The love and support she received from all over the country was extraordinary, and with each new donation and word of support, she felt more convinced that helping other children was the right thing to do and what she wanted to do in life. It is clear to me that when I grow up, I will dedicate myself to this. I want to help others, especially children who, like me and my siblings, were not lucky enough to be born into a caring and protective family. I love seeing a child's face when they receive one of my backpacks, hugging their teddy bear or reading a fairy tale for the first time. There is nothing more magical than helping those in need, and I never thought that with my lemonade stand I would be able to help so many people. It's amazing, she declared enthusiastically in one of the interviews she gave to a local media. Victoria Harper was very proud to see how what started as a small mission of solidarity selling lemonade among the neighbors in her neighborhood turned into an overwhelming outpouring of support that did nothing but fill her life and the lives of her 3 children with blessings. I feel very lucky to be the mother of such a special girl like Lara. She is full of love and generosity for everyone. Any mother would be proud to have such kind children, said Victoria in an interview when asked about her daughter and all that she was achieving with her solidarity campaign. The popularity around Lara grew steadily over the weeks, and there wasn't a person in the entire country who hadn't heard of her story and her backpacks of solidarity. But despite the overwhelming attention and generosity she received, the girl always knew how to stay humble and focused on the cause. She never let success change her, nor did she let it make her forget what was really important: helping children. Together, these 3 kids have repaid their adoptive mother's kindness in the most beautiful of ways. Lara's mother hadn't realized that her actions and choices would create a ripple effect in the world. By adopting these children in need, she showed compassion and love. This act multiplied when her children grew up to be generous and kind people who also wanted to help others. 10 years later, they have repaid her by giving her the ultimate gift. They have grown into beautiful people who care about others and give back to the world any way that they can. Isn't that the best thing we can hope for when raising children in this world? What do you think of this inspiring and heartwarming story? How would you feel if your children repaid your kindness by showing even more kindness to others? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to continue enjoying inspiring stories like this one, subscribe to our channel or check out the other videos shown at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your cooperation.